Manchester United have already completed most of the business, but there remains questions to answer before the transfer window closes. Jose Mourinho is still on the hunt for the elusive fourth signing, despite expecting Zlatan Ibrahimovic to have a significant part to play this season. Gareth Bale would be a dream addition, while bringing in Thomas Lemar from Monaco would see another mass meltdown from Arsenal fans. Even if United can get anyone else through the door, they must also decide if any players will be allowed to leave. Andreas, Pereira, Chris Smalling and Ashley Young have all been linked with moves either on loan or permanently, and Mourinho must decide what is best for the players and the squad. Expect a busy few days as United make the final moves before the window closes. We'll be here all day for live news and updates from Old Trafford. 1018 KY Ventusuit magazine are claiming that Mourinho is planning a late swoop for Arsenal's Alexis Sanchez. Based on this tweet, while it claims that United are interested, there's no suggestion they will actually make an offer for the Chile forward. Reports yesterday said Sanchez advisors had been in touch with United over a potential move, but he would prefer to go to City and work with Guardiola. United sources are expecting a quiet deadline day tomorrow, so don't expect Sanchez to be flying into Carrington anytime soon. The latest with Sanchez is that City have had a £50 million bid rejected. Expect them to go back with a higher one over the next 24 hours. 12:54 Juan Mata has revealed his target for the season, and unsurprisingly he wants to win the Premier League. Since he came to the Premier League in 2011, he hasn't won the big prize, but HES set it as his aim this season. Speaking to Premier League TV, he said, "It is one of them. It will be amazing to try and win the Premier League and celebrate with the fans. It would be great for the club and great for me because I have been in England for a few years now and always wanted to win it, and I never have, so it would be great on both sides. But we have more competitions that we want to try and win, so let's see at the end of the season." 12,191,207 Lindelof had a pretty poor pre-season tour, and HES been left out of 2 of the 3 Premier League matchday squads, so it would be fair to say his United career hasn't got off to the perfect start, but HES not letting it bother him. He told Football's Canal, "And it's clear that you always want to play. It's tough competition with very good players. So we'll see how it gets, but of course you always want to play. I have just got to the club. The last training week has gone very well and I feel I'm getting into it more and more. It has been good getting to know the club, everything around, all the players, the leaders and the system. It is a very important time for me. It is clear that there is a difference. There are more eyes on Manchester United than there are on Benfica. 1152 Just when you're getting into the swing of things in the new season, then hits an international break to ruin it all. But if you're wanting to keep up with the Reds on international duty, here's who's been called up: Sergio Romero, Argentina; Henrik Mkhitaryan, Armenia; Romelu Lukaku, Marwan Fellaini, Belgium; Antonio Valencia, Ecuador; Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling; England; Paul Pogba; France; Matteo Darmian; Italy; Eric Bailly; Ivory Coast; Daley Blind; Netherlands; Nemanja Matic; Serbia; David De Gea; Spain; Victor Lindelof; Sweden. 11:42 Young City star Jadon Sancho has gone walkabout and the club have no idea where he is. United are interested in the 17-year-old and have been monitoring the situation, but a move to a London club is looking more likely. The Telegraph reported that Sancho is now on a collision course with City after failing to turn up for training for much of August. Arsenal, Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund and Red Bull Leipzig are all said to be interested, as well as United. 11:23 While it's unlikely there will be any incomings tomorrow, there's a few players who could do with leaving. The 5 U23s players could do with a sterner test than the Premier League too, and are unlikely to get any game time for the first team. James Wilson, Axel Tuanzebe, Matty Willox, Kit McTominay, Joe Riley. 11:11 Great move by the club. They did the same last season for the Europa League game against Rostov. 1100 Here's what United's former captain has to say about any potential deadline day activity. Writing on Sky Sports, he said, "I don't think either City or Man United will be desperate to do any business otherwise." Jose Mourinho has been quite honest in saying he wanted 4 and HES got 3 plus Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I think he wanted a wide player, but I don't think he'll be too concerned because of the form of Henrik Mkhitaryan, Anthony Martial and Juan Mata. 1049 United were linked with the PSG defender earlier in the summer, and although the French club have accepted a bid from Tottenham, but SFR Sport claim he hasn't totally given up on the move to United. Even though his £23 million move to Spurs is now reportedly in doubt, the chances of him moving to United in the next 24 hours are pretty slim. Time to move on. Surge 10:28. The former United man has reportedly handed in a transfer request to Leicester, and the reaction from United fans has been great. 1001. Javier Omaraj Pereira Valenciachen Zibsmling Johns Bally Lindelof Roger Blind Army Shaw Herrera Charismatic Felony Pogba Lingard Pereira Young Matam Mkhitaryan Martial Rashford Ibrahimovic Lukaku. So 27, which is the same number Mourinho started last season with. Schweinsteiger bumped it up to 28 in October. 0947. He told Sport Bild Liverpool are close to it becoming champions. The development since Klopp took over in October 2015 is similar to his time in Dortmund. There he won the Bundesliga title in his third year. The Premier League is very hard to win. You have to be a bit lucky too. But you also make your own luck. And Klopp works very hard with his players. Big difference. The Bundesliga was a two-horse race. 0936 on Sanchez. There have been a couple of players United and City have gone for in recent years, and both of them played for Arsenal: Van Persie and Samir Nasri. 2 years ago, Nasri admitted he met Ferguson in Paris. We met with Sir Alex in Paris, in a hidden place, out of sight, so as not to fuel the rumours, he told Bein Sports. But there was one thing that was a problem: I was asked to go to war with Arsenal to be able to join. I could not see myself doing it, especially with Arsene Wenger, after Man City showed their interest. Mancini called me every day during the holidays. I then decided that they really wanted me. Reece, you told a story about Ferguson launching an expletive-laden rant at Nasri on the phone after he chose City. 0930. Some of them thought Van Dijk had arrived in Liverpool on a private jet yesterday, and the attention to detail was greater than those grown adults who tried to decide if that Matic Carrington picture was legit by finding a mole on his arm. 0920. That's the claim in the India ahead of deadline day, but Sanchez wants to reunited with his former Barcelona coach Guardiola at City. United have not shown any concrete interest in Sanchez, who would be a brilliant addition and put a club's interest in Ivan Perisic to shame, but United are anticipating a quiet end to the window. Hijacking a protracted City transfer would be anything but quiet. It has happened before, though. 0902. To the Leicester midfielder has handed in a transfer request amid interest from Chelsea. This summer, 3 United Academy graduates could leave for £100 million, Michael Keane and Johnny Evans for £30 million, Drinkwater for £30 million. Some have already piped up it was a mistake to sell Evans, without considering which club he joined, a mid-table side which last won a major trophy in 1968. That coaches like Wenger and Guardiola want Evans vindicates Van Gaal's decision to sell him. They prioritize distribution over defending when it comes to signing centre-halves, and both have poor hit rates in the transfer window when it comes to reinforcing that area. As for Keane, it was a mistake to sell him and prioritize the development of Football League talents like Tyler Blackett and Paddy McNair. Yes. Few questioned the decision to let Burnley have him at the time, though, and Keane did not look United material during his shaky showings against them last season. 0854. Last month it was Galatasaray, and this month it is Fenerbahce. Fellaini has entered the last year of his United contract, and there is no option of an additional yet since United triggered that extension in January. 0835. There were whispers United were looking at Barkley back in April, around the same time a Lukaku-Rooney swap was mooted. That came off. It pretty much was a swap deal, but it's unlikely United will intervene after Chelsea had the £25 million offer knocked back by Everton. Few United fans will hope they do anyway. Mourinho has enough potential players in his squad, and Barkley is an infuriating talent who would be fortunate to get a move to a club like Chelsea. It does have a homegrown quota look about it. 0826. They failed with Fabinho and Sergio Aurier, but because Paul Pogba spoke to Riyad Mahrez and covered his mouth, it's assumed Mahrez is now a United target. Senior United sources expect a quiet last few days of the window, and while things can change, Mahrez is unlikely to hover onto the radar just because he was chatty with Pogba on Saturday. Mahrez would obviously jump at the chance to go to United, but HES not going to get the chance. 0812 Kiev and Griezmann pledged his commitment to Atletico hours after CAS confirmed the La Liga club would not be able to sign players this calendar year. Atletico were banned from making signings for 2 transfer windows after breaching rules over the transfer of foreign players under the age of 18. France international Griezmann hinted on the eve of the Europa League final there was a 60% chance of him joining United, who had earmarked him as their attacking priority. However, Griezmann opted to remain at Atletico for at least 1 more year, and Olhats has spoken about the Euro 2016 top scorer's decision to reject United. 0810 That United want to keep him. This is hardly exclusive when actually it was reported here and by other media outlets that United want to keep the Brazilian. 0742 Key events. Stuart Matheson has a look at the Brazilian situation as speculation continues over his future ahead of deadline day. 0734 Key event. While dressed as the Jackson 5. The best one is for Nani, but they are all phenomenal. He loves this game and we love Pat's game. 0724 This is hysterical but damning. You'd have thought Bale would need to buy a drink again in Madrid after his 2014 Champions League final winner, but this gives the impression he would not be let in some of the city bars. 0721 Should United bother with a bit? I will allow it if it is good for the player. We've got Joe Ledley at the moment. It's his future, Wales manager Chris Coleman said. Who's to say a club might say, we've got a better offer now. I've had that myself, a player stalled. I waited and ended up with a better player. If there's something for you as a player, you have to go and take it. It's disruptive, but for the sake of a night, it's not a big deal. 0716 Kiev and not for Real Madrid, though. This is genuinely class behavior from the Whaley's talisman, who continues to be linked with a move to United even though Mourinho seemed to concede defeat in his attempts to unsettle him after the Super Cup in Skopje. Bale would have been ideal for United this summer and he might wish he had pushed for a move after the spoiled Real Madrid supporters whistled him at the Bernabeu again on Sunday night. If Bale doesn't go before 11 p.m. on Thursday, then that might be it for United's chances of ever signing a player they wanted 10 years ago. 0709 Chelsea want an Arsenal want away who doesn't want them and wants to move to Liverpool, where he would maybe get less playing time. Liverpool still don't have Virgil van Dijk and still have Philippe Coutinho, would rather walk alone. Another Arsenal want away, Alexis Sanchez, wants to join City, but the move could be blighted by Raheem Sterling moving in the opposite direction, which has gone down badly with Blues who have stood by Sterling amid some nasty accusations and baffling abuse over the last 2 years. Arsenal are acting like they were 6 years ago during the Park Chu-Young splurge, and Tottenham the last signing was a Southampton reserve goalie. That's the way of putting a positive spin on United's probable failure to sign a 4th player. 0701 There were a few Pereira to Valencia confirmed tweets at the weekend when it was the opposite of confirmed. The Spanish media succumb to hyperbole very easily and interested in often equates a deal done. Alvaro Morata was an example of that. Now comes the news that Pereira could move to Dutch side Utrecht. Again, this should be taken as a shovel of salt as Mourinho wants to keep him. It would also be daft of Pereira to agree to move to the Netherlands, despite his upbringing at PSV Eindhoven. The Eredivisie allows youngsters to hone the technique, but Pereira did that at Granada, and if he is to leave on loan it should be to a Premier League club. Here is what the MEN reported about Pereira on Tuesday. 0654 He has recorded as many assists as he managed in the entirety of last season, which is a phenomenal figure after just 4 starts in August. Playing him in a central role has really paid dividends after he was initially bought to strengthen the right flank.